Hey, drink responsibly. I feel like I have to put that at the beginning of these. Hey everybody, welcome back to another Drunk Explain. I'm your host, Pat Tracy. I'm on my third. I'm almost done. And I'm a little bit tipsy already because I've been just pounding these in like the last 10 minutes. We're doing a movie today. We do a movie every time. That was a stupid thing to say. Na pequeña isla. Alright, it's a sunset. We get a sunset, and it's the circle of life. There's all the animals gathering around, the giant pride rock. The baboon, he's painting this lion cub, walks him up, shows him off to all the animals. The Lion King. Alright, boys and girls, we're doing The Lion King today because it's coming out in theaters, the new remake, which is getting so-so reviews so far. I'm seeing it in a few days from when this comes out. So we're doing the original Lion King for Drunk Explained. I think this is honestly the best movie I've ever done on a Drunk Explained. It's not a bad movie at all, in any way. Off the bat, I'm Bad Tracy. Get it? Alright, we open on Scar. He's the bad lion. I'm assuming everyone has seen The Lion King. Alright, we open on Scar. He's the bad lion. I'm assuming everyone has seen The Lion King. He's got black hair, and he's boo-hoo-hooing about how life's not fair, and oh, why can't I be the king, and now that Simba was born, I'll never be king, because oh, he'll be king. Zazu shows up and is like, Scar, you're such a bitch because you didn't show up to fucking Simba's birth celebration. And Scar's like, why would I do that? I just want to be king. And he like chomps at Zazu. Mufasa shows up. Scar, he's all sad because he'll never be king. He spits up Zazu. He's like all threatening Mufasa, and he's like, listen, I should be king, and man, if something happens to you, and then he leaves wallowing. So we flash forward a few years. Simba is like a cub, a lion cub. He runs in where all the lions are sleeping, and he's like, Mom, Dad, wake up.
Awake. Before sunrise, he's your son.
Dad, come on, Dad.
So then Mufasa takes Simba out on to, it's not Pride Rock, but I think maybe it's the top of Pride Rock. It's some type of rock. He's like showing him the whole entire kingdom, and he's like, everything that the light touches is gonna be your kingdom one day, kid, because you're gonna be king.
Everything the light touches is our kingdom.
Wow.
And Simba's like, what about that shadowy place over there? And Mufasa's like, don't you ever fucking go to that shadowy place, Simba. It's a bad place for bad people, and if you're a good lion, you don't go to that place. And then Zazu shows up, and is like talking to the king Mufasa about something, and then Mufasa teaches Simba how to like pounce, and he pounces on Zazu.
Mufasa? Simba?
Really good. Well, and basically Zazu's like, yo, listen, there's hyenas in the Pride Lands, and Mufasa dips to go fight hyenas, I guess. Simba goes back to Pride Rock, and he's like gloating to Scar about how, he's like, hey, I'm gonna be king one day, Uncle Scar, ain't that cool? Like me, little Simba, this guy. Scar's like, oh wow, good for you.
Oh, good for you!
You're gonna be king one day. Scar convinces Simba to go to the shadowy place. He's like, oh, I can't tell you what's there. Oh. Nope, mum's the word. He lets it slip. Like, just, might be an elephant graveyard. And he's like, an elephant, what? And he's like, oh no, I shouldn't have told you, Simba. You'll get in trouble. Don't worry, it's our little secret. Simba and Nala, they're getting bathed by their mothers at Pride Rock. Let me just tell you, Nala is straight up getting her butt licked. Butt licked, like, straight up.
So where are we going? It better not be any place dumb. No, it's really cool.
They go off, they leave to go to the elephant graveyard, but Zazu is accompanying them. As their mother, they're like, oh, we're going to the water hole, it's a whole secret, and they're lying about it. And they're like, we gotta ditch Zazu, but Zazu's like, oh, one day you'll be married. He's like, oh, I can't marry Nala, she's my best friend, and ew, yucky, girls. And Nala's like, yeah, that's a stupid rule. And Zazu's like, well, it's just tradition. It's how kings live. And Simba's like, well, yo, when I'm king, the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of that rule. And then we get one of the best songs in the movie, I Just Can't Wait to Be King.
Oh, I just can't wait to be king.
It's a song sung by Simba. It's about how he just can't wait to be the king. Yeah. Well, Simba, you might not have to wait very long. After the song, Simba and Nala, they go to the elephant graveyard. Zazu then shows up right before they're about to go into, like, a giant elephant skull, like bone skull. Zazu shows up to make them leave, and then all the hyenas, like 3 hyenas show up. And they're all like, cackling like mad animals. I always really, really loved the hyenas. They're some of my favorite characters in this movie. One of them's, I don't know who the actress is, but I know the voice. I just can't think of it off the top of my head. But then one of them is Cheech Marin. Then there's the one Ed who just sits there and just laughs, like, constantly. It's Whoopi Goldberg. That's who the other hyenas is. That's from him. They're telling a bunch of jokes, and as they're telling all the jokes, Zazu, Simba, and Nala escape, like they're running away.
We could have whatever's lying around.
Wait, I got one. Make mine a cub sandwich. What you think?
The bits where the hyenas are chasing Simba and Nala through the elephant graveyard, where there's like red fire shooting up, I think it's a really spooky bit, and I'm sure if you're a really little kid, this would be super scary, because it's like the hyenas, like faces coming through the red smoke and shit. It's super cool though. Well, then Simba and Nala, they get trapped, and they're like pinned in like the back of a cavern. They can't go up or anywhere. The hyenas are all like closing in, and Simba does this like really weak little roar because he's a little cub. He's like, rah, and they're like, ha 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 ha, nice roar, you dumbass. Then they're like, you want to try that again? And Simba goes to roar again, but then there's a big old roar, like, rah, and they look up, and who fucking is there? It's Mufasa.
That was it? Do it again. Huh?
And he whoops some ass on the hyenas, and I thought this was really funny. It's like Scooby-Doo sound effects.
Doodles.
Where it's like, Scar is watching from afar, but not really that afar, because Scar is just sitting on a ledge like 10 feet above them. So if they would have just looked up, they would have seen him there. Then we get some father-son lesson about being scared, and how being a king, a good king, is about being scared about enemies or something. It's a lesson for kids. So then the hyenas, they're sitting around talking trash about lions, being like, yo, lions stink, and they're fucking ugly, and they fucking suck, and man, lions are poopy.
We're number 2.
And then Scar shows up, and he's like, oh, what is this about lions? And they're like, oh, nothing, Scar, you're our buddy, man, you're our friend. Scar's like, oh, I just want to be king, and fucking Simba and all this shit. And they're like, what are we to do? kill Mufasa, and then we get a Scar song about how he just is gonna murder Mufasa. And you know what? I don't really like this song. Because Jeremy Irons, he voices Scar. I'm pretty sure he sings this song. I don't know. I don't like this song at all. Hyenas take over the song, and there's this bit where there's like 1,000 fucking hyenas marching like Nazis.
The future is littered with prizes, and though I may not receive...
And I'm like, whoa, that's really crazy. It's a weird scene. But then Scar, he starts singing again about how you always need to be prepared.
Be prepared, be prepared.
Scar, he tricks Simba into going into like this cavern, canyon type thing, and he's like, yo, just sit on this rock, don't fucking move, just sit on this rock and wait for Mufasa, because your dad wants to show you a really cool lion thing, so like a big surprise, and Mufasa's gonna get here, and it's gonna be so fucking dope, and yeah, and Simba's like, oh, what is it? And Scar's like, just sit here, okay? So then, as he's leaving, he signals to the hyenas, and they all, like, chase after some, buffalo to start, their wildebeest, not buffalo, to start a stampede, and so the stampede comes just careening down this canyon, and I really love the close-up on Simba's face when he notices, the stampede coming. It's very cool. The stampede is stampeding after Simba. Holy shit. So then Scar, he goes up to Mufasa, and he's like, yo, Mufasa, your dumbass son, Simba, he's in that fucking canyon over there, and there's a stampede of wildebeests, and they're gonna smash your kid to bits, alright? And Mufasa's like, oh, goddamn Simba, causing trouble again. Mufasa, he dives in the stampede after Simba, runs in, grabs him by the neck, like bites him in the neck, picks him up. They're both getting just kicked around by wildebeest. It's fucking crazy. Mufasa basically has to toss Simba out on a ledge, then he falls into the stampede, and Simba's like, oh my god, he's dead. But then he jumps out, clawing his way to the top, climbing out, calling for help. Scar is standing there, and he's like, help, brother. And Scar's like, fuck you, dick, I'm gonna be king, because I'm gonna kill you and your kid, you dummy. And he claws his paws. Mufasa falls into the stampede, and he fucking dies. No!
Father!
Simba, he basically goes to Mufasa's dead body, and he's all like super sad, and like pushing him, and he's like, Dad, you gotta wake up, Dad, Dad, stuff like that. It's very sad, very, very sad stuff. It's a Disney movie. It's all bloody tears and everything. Scar shows up, and Scar's like, wow, you dickhead, you really fucking did it this time. You killed your dad. Wow, what'd you do? You were sitting here in this canyon, and you're fucking, there's all those wildebeests, and your dad had to save you, and your dad died, and you're a real dickhead, Simba. And Simba's like, man, I wasn't trying to kill my dad. And Scar's like, well, you really blew it. What's your mother gonna think? And yeah, he's basically like, you gotta get the fuck out of here. You gotta run away now. And Simba runs, and then he's like, hey, hyenas, go kill Simba. And they chase after him. Simba escapes, like, running through brush and bramble and thorns and shit. And the hyenas are like, no way, I'm not running through the thorns. Scar goes back to Pride Rock. He tells all the other lions, he's like, yo, Mufasa, Simba, they both fucking died in this crazy stampede. I'm the new king and ruler of Pride Rock. Me, Scar. So then we get a shot of Simba in the desert, just laying almost dead in the desert. Vultures are circling, about to eat his body because he's dying practically. And Timon and Pumbaa show up to the rescue. Oh my god. So Timon and Pumbaa, they take Simba back to their humble abode. It's basically like an island fantasy. It's behind some shrubbery.
Well, what is it you want? We want a shrubbery!
It's like a waterfall and fucking beautiful flowers and shit. And yeah. And what I noticed from rewatching this when Timon and Pumbaa show up, Timon is fucking savage to Pumbaa. There's fat jokes, there's jokes about him just being an idiot and being dumb, there's jokes about everything. He's just a fucking savage to Pumbaa. Whew.
So we're keeping him? Of course. Who's the brains in this outfit? My point exactly.
Then we get what's arguably the best song in the movie, Hakuna Matata. It means no worries for the rest of your days. You know it. Everyone knows it. They teach it to Simba. Oh, and my favorite part of this whole song is when Pumbaa goes, "When I was a young warthog."
When he was a young warthog.
When I was a young warthog.
Very nice.
Thanks.
See, Pumbaa has a fart problem. That's his thing. He farts too much. That's why he was kicked out of his family. Because he would fart and they'd all be like, "Oh, you stunk up, man." Oh. Timon and Pumbaa, they teach Simba how to eat bugs. They call it grub. And then we get a montage of him growing up into a big old lion with a mane, voiced by Matthew Broderick. Then we get a shot of Scar, and he's got Zazu in like a cage made out of bones. And I thought this was a really funny bit. He like makes Zazu sing for him, and Zazu starts singing "It's a Small World After All," and Scar goes, "Anything but that."
Test 1, 2, 3.
Anything but that.
So Timon, Pumbaa, and Simba, they're looking at the stars. Simba tells them the story about how... I should have mentioned this earlier, but I didn't. He tells them a story about how his dad's like, "Oh, if you look to the stars, you see the past kings, and the past kings talk to you, and they can tell you all about the fucking everything." Timon and Pumbaa are like, "That's fucking silly, you idiot." And they mock him relentlessly. And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry guys, that was stupid." And yeah. After he gets mocked, he's all like sad about it. So he like goes off to sulk alone, and he lays down in some leaves, and the leaves flow up into the wind, and the wind blows these leaves away, and they blow all the way to Rafiki, and Rafiki catches the leaves. He's like, "What?" And he mashes the leaves up in like a turtle shell and turns it into like a fruit soup. He like licks it and sniffs it or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, Simba's alive." Alive! Oh, and he has crazy eyes at this part too.
It is time.
Timon and Pumbaa, they're singing in the jungle, and Pumbaa is going after a beetle, and he's like pouncing. He's like down, and he's gonna pounce, and he starts getting chased by a lion. And this lion's like ferocious and like rah rah rah. And he gets stuck in a log, and Timon like runs up and he's like, gotta help him out because this lion's coming. Simba leaps into action and he's starting to fight this lion. Well, in the lion, it turns out to be Nala. Nala all grown up. She's there because she's like, "Yo, Scar's a bad fucking king. He is ruining the Pride lands and Pride Rock. And there's no food, and so I'm looking out for help. And I found you, Simba, and holy shit, you're still alive." Nala's like, basically, "Simba, you need to be king. You're the rightful king and all this shit." And Simba's like, "No." So basically, Simba and Nala, they run off, and they're like splashing around in a waterfall, and they're frolicking in the flowers. And they're rolling around on each other, and they proceed to get cozy. If you know what I mean. A wink winked there. So then Timon and Pumbaa are worried because Simba will leave them. And Timon's crying and he's like, "Pumbaa, Simba's our fucking lion. He's our bodyguard and shit. If he gets a lady, he won't be our bodyguard anymore because he'll want that, you know?" Then Nala's all like, "Why didn't you come back?" And he's like, "I fucking can't go back. Everybody thought I was dead and shit." He's like, "I'm not going back." And I thought this was a really, really funny line. She's like, "If you don't come back, Simba, everybody will starve." And Simba goes, Hakuna Matata. He's like, fuck it, who cares, man, life's fine. Oh, jeez. Well, and Nala's like giving him the rundown and like a pep talk and like, "Yo, you're supposed to be the fucking king, and what would your dad think and all this shit." And then Simba's like, "Are you satisfied?" And Nala goes, "No, I'm just disappointed." Oh, it's kind of like what your mom said to me after I fucked her. So Nala and Simba, they continue arguing, and she's like, "You're not your father, because your father could sell a ketchup popsicle to a woman in white gloves."
I'm not my dad.
That's right, you're not your dad. He could sell a ketchup popsicle to a woman in white gloves.
Ketchup popsicle?
Yeah.
And Simba's like, "I know I'm not my father." So Simba, he storms off, yelling at the stars about how it's all his fault that his fucking father died. Then he meets up with Rafiki. His Rafiki pops out of a tree out of nowhere, and Rafiki is all like, "Oh, I know who you are. Do you know who you are?" Oh. I hate Rafiki. He is my least favorite character in The Lion King. He's fucking useless and annoying, and I hate everything about him. Ugh. "Yo, you're Mufasa's boy," and then he like runs off. Simba chases after him, and he's like, "How do you know I'm Mufasa's son? And my father's dead and all this." And Rafiki's like, "What are you talking about? He's alive. Come on." And he chases after him, and they go through like all this weird swampland, and they go to like a magical pond. And Rafiki's like, "Look in the look in the water, you'll see your father." He looks in the water, just sees his own reflection, and he's like, "What are you talking about? It's just me." And he's like, "Look deeper." He looks at the reflection, and he sees his father in himself, and then Mufasa shows up in the cloud. Mufasa gives a pep talk in the sky, and then Simba's like, "Yo, I'm going back to Pride Rock, bitch. I'm gonna beat down my Uncle Scar, and I'm gonna be the king." Because just like that song I sung a little while ago, I just can't wait to be king, even though I waited for a little bit. So then we get a shot, like, Timon and Pumbaa are, like, sleeping, and Nala wakes them up, and they're like, "Yo, fucking Simba dipped. Where is he?" And they're like, "I don't know. Where is he? I don't know. Where is he? I don't know. Then Rafiki shows up just out of nowhere, and he's like, "Yo, Simba went back to Pride Rock. He's gonna take his rightful place as king." And then Timon's like, "Hey, who's the fucking monkey? Just showed up out of nowhere. Who's this guy?" There's an extended joke where it's basically the "who's on first" joke from Abbott and Costello, where he's like, "Who's the monkey?" "Oh, the monkey knew Mufasa. It's Simba's father." "The monkey is his father?" "No, the monkey is this guy, and it's Mufasa's his father." It's pretty good.
Who's the monkey?
Simba's gone back to challenge Scar.
Who?
Scar.
Who's got a scar?
No, it's his uncle.
The monkey's his uncle?
No, Simba's gone back to challenge his uncle to take his place as king.
Oh.
Simba's walking through the elephant graveyard feeling like shit, real sad sack of a shit loser, and Nala shows up, and she's like, "Yo, I'm gonna be the Mickey to your Rocky, and we're gonna fight this fight together." And then Timon and Pumbaa show up too, and they're like, "Yo, where you're back up to?" There's the four of them. They got their real crew together. They're in an elephant graveyard. You know, there's bones everywhere, and, you know, they're kind of walking on a street, so you could really say they're kind of a Bone Street crew, if you know what I'm talking about. So then we get a shot of Pride Rock, really looking like shit. It's super run down. It's like deserted land. Everything's dying. There's fucking cactuses dead, and there's trees without leaves and shit. I just dropped that. Real sad, run-down place. The team, they're like hiding behind some rocks, and you see like Scar talking to hyenas, and they're like, "What are we gonna do?" Simba's like, "Yo, it's easy. Timon and Pumbaa, you guys are the distraction. You're the Shaggy and Scooby of the group, you know?" Then Timon's like, "What am I supposed to do? Dress and drag and do a hula?"
What do you want me to do? Dress and drag and do the hula?
Luau! If you're hungry for a hunk of fat and juicy meat, eat my buddy Pumbaa here because the end is treat.
It's amazing. Sarabi, that's Simba's mom. She shows up. I didn't know her name until this part because they don't say it in the movie. She's like, "Scar, there's no food left. We gotta move Pride Rock." And Scar's like, "No, we're not fucking moving." And she's like, "You're gonna kill all the lions." And he's like, "Well, so be it then." Simba shows up, and Sarabi's like, "Oh my god, my son's still alive. That's insane." And Scar is shocked by this. "How are you alive?" Simba threatens Scar, and he's like, "Yo, I'm gonna beat you up if you don't give me my kingdom." Scar is like, "Hyenas, get him." And they chase after Timon and Pumbaa for a little bit. Tells the entire Pride Rock that Simba killed Mufasa, and Sarabi's super upset, and Scar's like, "You're a murderer. You murderer?" Scar and the hyenas, they back Simba up Pride Rock to the edge, and he's like slipping off Pride Rock. Then lightning hits and starts a fire underneath Pride Rock. And then Scar confesses to Simba, and he's like, "Hey, I bloody killed your dad, Mufasa, my brother. I fucking killed him, you idiot." And Simba jumps up on Scar and beats him up a bit and forces him to confess to Pride Rock and everybody's like, "What the fuck?" And there's a fight. So Timon and Pumbaa, they show up to the battle. They're punching and fighting. Rafiki shows up with a war cry. Ah! He's using his stick cane thing, and he's doing ninja moves and fucking doing spin things and fighting like a ninja. We get shots of the hyenas being knocked off of Pride Rock, like literally falling into fire, and there's like screams, like Wilhelm screams in the background. It is crazy. How is this movie rated? What is this rated? This is rated G. It's insane. The hyenas chase after Timon, and he runs into Zazu's cage, like the bone cage. And Zazu's like, "Let me out of here." And Timon's like, "Let me in." "Let me out! Let me out! Let me in! Let me in!" Pumbaa shows up, and he's like, "The cavalry." And they're like, "Oh, what's a pig gonna do to save us? Blah, blah, blah." And Pumbaa's like, "What'd you call me?" And they're like, "Oh, you're a pig, blah, blah, blah." And Timon's like, "You shouldn't have said that." And then Pumbaa's like, "What'd you say?" They call him a pig one more time. He's like, "They call me Mr. Pig." Ah!
They call me Mr. Pig!
And he runs into him like a fucking bowling ball, hitting some bowling pins, knocks them all over, beats them up. We get a dust cloud type of fight where they all get knocked out. They run out of the cave, fucking cowering in fear, because hyenas are bitches in this movie. Simba chases Scar to the top of Pride Rock, where basically Scar begs for his life. He's like, "Yo, don't kill me. I know I killed your father, but don't kill me." And Simba's like, "That's right, you little bitch. You're a bitch, Uncle Scar. Cower for your life. Beg at my feet. Grovel and kiss my paws." And Simba's like, "See, I won't kill you, because I'm a good king." And blah, blah, blah. A little pep talk and shit. And he tells him to run away forever. Scar's like, "Alright, I'll run away forever." And he goes away. But then Scar kicks up some fire and into Simba's face. He pounces onto Simba and bites his neck. There's a fight, man. It's epic. There's slow-mo. There's slaps. There's a fire jump. Scar tumbles. The hyenas kill Scar. Like, he falls off the cliff. And there's a scene of all the hyenas jumping on him, and like you see his shadow against a wall, and he's like being pulled apart, and he's screaming.
No!
It's, you can just imagine. Well, then it starts raining, and the rain stops the fire, and Simba takes his rightful place as the king of Pride Rock in the rain. He's on Pride Rock, looks super badass because his mane's all flowing down and whatnot because it's all wet from the rain. And he roars as lightning hits. Peace and green are restored. There's peace to the kingdom. There's green everywhere. All the hyenas are even like, "Yo, Simba, you're the rightful king," and all this. And we get the circle of life ×2, because Simba and Nala, they done fucked and had a baby. And that leads us into The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride. Dun dun dun! Finn, man, we're done. So that was me drunk explaining The Lion King, the Drunk King, the Lion Drunkard. This is a legit good movie. Like, 5 stars out of 5 stars from me. Hard to make fun of. Like, there's literally nothing in this, besides Rafiki, there's nothing in this movie I don't like. This was a really fun one to do, honestly, because it's like, I gotta explain a good thing instead of a bad thing. So, yeah, let me know what you thought of it. Let me know what you think of The Lion King, because I know everybody's fucking seen this. The new one comes out pretty soon. I'm sure we'll have a review of that on the channel. As always, I'm Bat Tracy, the drunk of the channel, who does these videos. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Stardust, at BatTracy01. It's right here. Lexdoll. He's my brother. He's in that room right there. You can follow him on Twitter at Idiot Doll, on Stardust Lexdoll, and on Instagram at Straight Edge Atheist Jerk. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Punk Rock Blues, and you can donate to our Patreon at patreon.com/punkrockblues. Chuck in a buck or two. That's all, folks and yokes. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and if you enjoy this video. Yeah, I don't know, I really like doing these drunk explains, and, oh god, what else am I supposed to say? Okay, bye! You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Snap. So Timon about throw a symbol like on a branch. It was I can't hold on. And all right, we're